Let us pray. Thank you, O Heavenly Father, for this day that you've blessed us to be a part of. We invoke your presence this afternoon upon this room and upon your people. We're blessed to be present here today. And as we, as a community, as we embark on a new school year of 2025-2026, we come this afternoon seeking you in prayer, seeking you for direction, seeking you for guidance, seeking you, O God, towards daily growth and success. We ask this afternoon for a covering for each of our schools, each MPS building, all of our teachers, aides, administrators, and staff. We ask for a covering over every family, every child, every parent, and every guardian. We even seek for a covering for this school board. Each one of them, our new superintendent, may you lead him and them, O God. Guide them with confidence and boldness, but only through the power of the Holy Spirit. Finally, O God, as a district, we acknowledge that you have made many provisions for us, and we believe that we can accomplish much. But your word declares, with men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Reverend Plump. At this time, we have let us stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now we have 6 members present, therefore a quorum has been established. Our next item is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as written?
Madam Vice President, I move that we approve the agenda.
And I second it.
It has been motioned and second to approve the agenda. May I see a show of hands? Those in favor of? I'm sorry, is there any discussion? Seeing that there is no discussion, may I see a show of hands for all those in favor? It is unanimous. Thank you. Now, Vice President remarks. They will be short and sweet, but I did not want to miss this opportunity to welcome everyone back to school. At this year's convocation, Dr. Byrd and his administration set a theme for our teachers and staff. On behalf of the Board of Education, we want to reiterate the theme and extend our support to all of our workforce, parents, students, and stakeholders. Welcome back, and thank you for the incredible work you do every day. This year's theme says it all, superheroes. Now, you may not wear capes, leap tall buildings, but every one of you has a superpower. Whether you work at a manufacturing plant, drive a truck, serve meals, clean buildings, heal wounds, serve the community, or raise and encourage our most treasured assets, you are a hero to your children and to our community. Parents, you are their first teacher, their first line of defense, and their most trusted allies. You are the everyday heroes who wake your children up every day to go to school. You check homework, cheer from the sidelines, and remind them to never give up. Your partnership is the shield and strength that protects and empowers them. This year, we ask all of our heroes, parents, teachers, staff, and community to fully step into that role. Every lead hero in Bible or book has summoned help, and our superintendent has done the same. Every retired educator that still chooses to serve has been invited to once again drape on their cape to help overtake the obstacles that hinder our children from realizing their dream of being an educated, successful, and productive hero to others. Our mission is clear. Give every child in Montgomery Public Schools the opportunity to succeed, grow, and thrive. Yes, there will be challenges, but we've proven time and time again that nothing can stop a united team of heroes. Parents and stakeholders, we see you, we hear you, we value you, and we are proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with you as we make this our best year yet. Capes on, heroes. Let's go. Thank you, and let's have an amazing school year. Next, we will have remarks from our superintendent, Dr. Byrd.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. Good evening, board members, colleagues, parents, students, and members of our community. As we begin this school year, our theme is superheroes. And I can say without a doubt, our first days back have proven that the MPS team is indeed filled with everyday heroes who start each day and end each day with their invisible capes, saving the day for many of our students and families. Since the opening of school, I've made a priority to be in our buildings, observing classrooms, supporting principals, and listening to both staff and students. Everywhere I've gone, I've been greeted with smiles, enthusiasm, and a clear sense of purpose. Our employees and our students are showing up with their superhero powers, whether it's the power of patience, creativity, problem solving, or simply the power of kindness. And for that, I am truly grateful. One of the ways we're amplifying that energy is making sure we're providing support to our superheroes on the front lines is through our Beyond the Desk initiative. This year, our central office specialists will be spending the majority of their days inside the classrooms, inside our schools. This means more hands-on support for teachers, more opportunities to problem solve in real time, and more direct connections with our students and our employees. I also want to take a moment to remind our parents that attendance matters every single day. The most powerful thing we can do for a child's education is to ensure they are in school on time and ready to learn. Every day missed is an opportunity lost, and together we can make sure that our children, that they are present and they are prepared. Over these first 2 weeks, we've seen strong starts in academics, smooth transportation routes in most areas, and vibrant extracurricular activities getting underway. But we've also seen some challenges. We want our parents to know that we hear you and we are addressing those challenges each day. And we want you to look forward to hearing some exciting news about the launch of our customer service initiatives, as well as other exciting opportunities for some of our schools. As we move forward, my commitment remains the same: to be visible, to listen, and to act in ways that makes MPS stronger each and every day. Together, we will make this school year one where every student, every employee, and every school can truly shine. I want to thank you all so much for your continued support and dedication to Montgomery Public Schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Byrd. Wonderful. Next, we will have our board recognitions by Mrs. Rosanna Bruton.
Good evening, Madam President, Vice President,
Yeah.
Dr. Byrd, and board members. It is truly an honor to join you this evening, and I'm excited because this is my very first board meeting as the Director of Communications. I would also like to point out this is the first board meeting for another one of our communication department team members, Miss Monet Stevens, who is serving as the Marketing and Community Development Manager. We are absolutely excited and looking forward to working to support and amplify the great work happening across MPS. Now, before we move on, I would like to extend a heartfelt thanks to our vendors, volunteers, and MPS staff who contributed to the success of the Back to School Bash. Thanks to your efforts, we had and welcomed over 2,800 families to the incredible event. And this evening, we have several people we would like to celebrate with you. First up, we have 3 amazing students that spent their summer break giving back to their community. Faith Brown, Kaylin Snurling, and Zalia Williams. If you all would mind coming forward for us. They're students at Brew Baker Technology Magnet High School. They proudly served as interns in the Jackson Hospital Summer Internship Program. Through their participation in the hospital's volunteer program, they gained hands-on experience in various areas such as patient care, administrative roles, and so much more. They host a track chapter with Faith Brown serving as chapter president. Their internship experience highlights their commitment to healthcare and dedication to making a meaningful impact, both in their careers and the community. Dr. Bird, we welcome you to take a photo with these lovely students along with the board. And this is the principal joining us. We thank you. And the supervisor for Jackson. Let's give them another round of applause. Next up, we're thrilled to share that the Del Reyta Elementary PTA has earned the National PTA School of Excellence designation. Schools are recognized for building partnerships between families and their schools that are enriching the educational experience and overall well-being for our students. What an outstanding achievement. We welcome them to come up and take a picture with Dr. Bird and our board members.
All right.
And we also have the principal of Del Reyta Elementary joining us this evening as well. Yes, you all are welcome to stay right where you are as we continue these recognitions. We also have representatives with the Alabama PTA and Montgomery County Council PTA joining us this evening for the Alabama PTA Reflections Program. We had a number of students. If you are a student who received a state award and you are a state award winner, please rise and join us. We also had 2 national reflection winners. If they would please join us. And just to give you a little bit of background, that this National PTA Reflections Program is giving the designation to these students for their exceptional creative work of interpreting a specific theme. And again, if we can give a round of applause for our state and national winners. And now we'll take a moment to celebrate a dedicated educator. Mrs. Heidi Beard was recently recognized by Defined Learning as the Elementary Defined Difference Maker winner. Defined Learning shared that defined difference makers were identified for their creativity, dedication, and meaningful impact on student engagement and skill development. I'll also have Dr. Pelton and Ms. Beard join us and come share a little bit more.
Hello. It is my honor to introduce Ms. Heidi Castile-Bearden. She is a STEM teacher at Wilson Elementary School, and she was a national winner with the project-based learning with the Defined Learning platform. She is definitely an inspiration. She motivates her students. She also provides creative, dedicated, meaningful learning for her students. So with this award, she received a $100 gift card to Amazon. And we just want to celebrate her and the work that she's doing and hoping that it's going to spread. So,
Yes, it is. I also want to make this announcement as our board members get back to their seat along with Dr. Our fearless leader, Superintendent. Make sure you follow Montgomery Public Schools on social media. It is a great way to stay connected and up to date with all things going on at MPS. Thank you.
You know.
Now that we're all excited, we'll move right along. Our next order of business is our scheduled public comments. We have Mr. Joe Purnell and Mr. Alan Bryant Jr. Are those gentlemen in the building? Let me, if Mr. Purnell will come forward, I will read the rules and procedures for public participation. Requests must be made in advance in writing to the superintendent's office by 4:30 p.m. on the Tuesday preceding the meeting date. Requests must have specified the nature of the business to be taken up with the board and the name of the person who will address the board to be added to the agenda. Communications must be respectful. Discussing specific student or employee matters will not be allowed. Individuals who have concerns that are inappropriate to be solved in this venue are welcome to seek a problem-solving meeting with the superintendent. Immediate feedback by the board may not be provided. However, you may be contacted for follow-up by the superintendent or his designee. Public comments may not exceed 3 minutes. The board chair has full authority to terminate the remarks of any person whose comments contain personal attacks, exceed the time limit, or are otherwise inappropriate. Speaker may be considered disruptive who continues to speak when the allocated time has ended. If a person fails to comply, we are asked to terminate the comments and be escorted to their seat. Mr. Purnell's remarks this afternoon will be how to properly address the issue of gun violence in today's society. Thank you, sir. You may begin.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Again, my name is Joe Purnell. I'm here to address the issue of gun violence. I don't think there's anyone here in this room who lives within the Montgomery community does not understand the effects, the negative effects of gun violence. I'm not here to reinvent the wheel. I'm just here to make a suggestion. Who better than us to deal with this? I'll give you an issue. First of all, it has been demonstrated against. It has been legislated. It has been advocated against. Everything that has been done has failed. Needless to say that regardless of what is done, when one push one way, there's somebody pushing back. The gun lobby, the advocates, the liberals, the conservatives, so forth and so on. What I'm here to do is to put forth an idea. Who better contrive curriculums than us? Who better put together lesson plans than us? Who better spend more time with children outside of their parents' home than us? So what I'm asking is for us, the education department of this city, to put together a platform that we can present to parents and hopefully with their support, teach our children about gun violence, not gun safety, gun violence. The issue here is that teaching a child how to shoot a gun, how to handle a gun is not enough. Putting a gun on safety, putting a gun in a lockbox, that's not good. So what I'm here to do is to ask us, we the educators, we don't legislate, but we can advocate, we can educate. The best way to change is to educate the population. Remember the seatbelt situation, remember the cigarettes, remember all of those major, even civil rights. It took years, but the public had to be educated. If we educate our youth, not advocate for, not talk against, but just educate. The more educated a person is, the better a person can make a decision on how to address an issue or how to deal with it. Our kids shoot, our kids die, and we know personally at Park Crossing how this feels. The young man who was dealt with, who lost his life early, he was in my 8th period class. I remember his infectious smile. I see him every day. I remember the young lady who was killed in her bedroom. She wasn't on the streets. That's why we have to talk about gun violence. We have to address it educationally. And the more you address it educationally, you can do it steadfastly and methodically and change the mindset. Change the mindset, then you possibly can change their action. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Purnell, for your thoughtful comments. Is Mr. Alan Bryant Jr. here? Welcome, Mr. Bryant.
Excuse me. Could you give each one of them?
Mr. Bryant will be addressing administrative educational accountability this afternoon. You may begin.
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to the public. After looking at MPS for 4 years, the teaching methods and learning methods, um, there is a lot to be desired. I'm going to read what I typed up, and I'll go over it with you. Integrity in teaching is a multifaceted concept encompassing honesty, fairness, and ethical conduct in all aspects of a teacher's professional life, both inside and outside the classroom. It involves upholding high standards of scholarship, promoting a culture of respect and trust, constantly acting and consistently acting in the best interest of the students. In an educational system where there is little to no solidarity among teachers and the administration, achieving academic excellence is hindered and not achievable. High teacher morale is dependent upon teacher solidarity across the board. To my knowledge, there is no means, methods, or organizations that facilitate or monitor solidarity among teachers. Collaboration among teachers is essential for the successful, relevant rigor that promotes academic success in students. It is very evident the students are not achieving academic outcomes that are designed for them to become productive citizens in this great city. Although some schools have shown the achievement of district goals, many schools are not showing improvement and haven't shown any progress for some time. In that recent statistics show that 77% of MPS schools have achieved report cards of C and below, while 23% are above C. And out of all the schools, only 2 received an A. The high schools, out of the 6 high schools, 2 of them received Fs, and I think 2 received D, and 2 received Cs. It is very obvious to some extent that MPS instructional leaders haven't been utilizing research-based methods, practice, and theories to enhance its educational instructional delivery. However, MPS has historically used practices such as pink slips to certified teachers, hiring of unqualified and uncertified teachers. These teachers
Thank
are
you
not.
so much, Mr. Bryant, for your heartfelt comments, but you've reached your 3-minute limit. Thank you so much.
Are you serious?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay.
We thank you. But again, as our protocol calls, if you would like further discussion, you can always call and see if you can get an appointment.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, we have no citizen comments. Our next order of business will be South Lawn Middle Gym Addition, Change Order 1. Mr. Anderson.
Good evening, Dr. Byrd, Ms. Portis, and members of the board. The documentation from Volkert describes the change order request and reads as follows. We have several day requests that are of no cost change order from different items such as the water, sewer, and fire line revisions. You see those items. There are a couple of cost changes in the termite treatment to the building pad. This was, of course, even though the building is of concrete and steel and brick and mortar, we do have the gym floor that's a major cost that if we did have some termite infestation of that, it would be something. So a little bit of prevention on the front end leaves a lot of heartache left behind on the back end of things. So that's the request for that piece. The structural changes in the gym beams, that was a small revision by our architects working in conjunction with the contractor and their recommendations, and then the addition of the MDF closet in the gymnasium area. That was also kind of after the bid revision. We had some line items in there, but getting the full design of what needed to go into that closet when you're considering the IT infrastructure, the access control, cameras, and different things, that's the reason for bringing it forward now in these items. We'll say that we still remain well under budget, approximately $1.6 million under the budget that was allotted for this project, so we feel really confident moving forward.
Very good. Any comments or questions for Mr. Anderson? Thank you so much, Mr. Anderson. Next, we'll have our attorney, Erica Powell, to go over the internet safety and use of technology policy.
Good evening, Madam Vice President, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Byrd. I just want to go over with you real quick regarding the internet safety policy. As you guys recall, the Focus Act, which we've discussed previously, requires that there is an internet safety policy to be implemented by all school districts. We typically, or we already have a acceptable use policy in place that kind of governs some of this. However, with the Focus Act, there are some different requirements that we needed to address and update. And so you guys have already been provided with the revised language to update the internet safety policy. Specifically, the internet safety policy as currently or proposed to be implemented, it will update the following versions. It will protect students from unsafe and unsecure online communication platforms, prohibit students access to unlawfully obtained information and unlawful online activities. It blocks student access to websites, web applications, or software that exposes a student's personal information, and restricts students' access to social media platforms unless authorized by a teacher for educational purposes. These are all requirements under the Focus Act, and so the proposed language revising what we currently have is to be in place and compliant with what the Focus Act requires.
Okay. Any questions for Attorney Powell? Hearing no questions, we thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we will have our June 2025 financial statement given by Mrs. Watkins.
Sorry, you should have before you the financials for the month of June. Included in those financials are the explanation of financial data, which is a statement and overview of the financial status as of June 2025, specific to the general fund, which is our primary operating fund for the district. And the statement is provided by me that gives an overview. Secondly, you should have your snapshot analysis. The snapshot analysis provides a high-level overview of the district's financial statement and financial information, and we'll come back to that. You should also have your general fund recap balance, which is a breakout of what our general fund balance is as of June 2025. Additionally, you have the monthly percentages. The month of June represents 3/4 of the fiscal year, which means that we should be at about 75% of expenditures, which we pretty much are. You also have the monthly and annual comparative statement of revenues, which compares the previous year and year-to-date to the current year, current month, and current year-to-date as well. Then you have the statement of cash flow, which shows our cash that has entered and exited during the month of June. The pie chart, which is a visual of those cash flows and inflows. And then you have our F exhibits, which are the reports that are generated from the State Department of Education. We'll focus here on the snapshot analysis. The snapshot analysis, as you can see, gives you our revenues and our expenditures compared to the budget in that first block. You'll see that our expenditures are approximately 78% of the budget. This is our original budget. Our amended budget, which has been submitted, has not been approved, so you don't see the changes that have occurred with that. The 78% versus 75% represents transfers out to other funding sources, specifically capital. Additionally, you see the general fund total payroll expenditures compared to June of 2024. And if you look, you probably see a significant difference there. What makes up that difference is the fact that in the month of June, we paid out probably $1.5 million of the principal supplements, principal and assistant principal supplements, as well as you also have to factor in the 2% increase in step increases that would have occurred from June of 2024 to June of 2025. You'll see our local revenues represented there as well, which is a pretty fair comparison. And then you'll see our general fund balance at $112 million. I can't see that far. $112,654,000 as of now. If we look at what makes up that general fund balance, as I always state, our true general fund local revenue balance is about $85 million, $86 million. We do still anticipate ending the fiscal year with approximately $88 million in all. But what makes up the $112 million, as you'll see, there are other fund sources on here that are specifically for those fund sources, so meaning that they can only be spent as they are described on this report. So transportation can only be spent on transportation. OMI can only be spent on OMI, and so on and so forth. Additionally, if you look at one of the other comparisons that I usually make when I look at this is to see what last year looks like compared to this year. And when I look at this, I will see that our expenditures are tracking closely to what they were last year. One of the big differences that I see here is that our local revenues in June of 2024 were a negative compared to 559. The reason for that is that last year was the first year that we received the ad valorem. We are required by law to move half of those revenues to capital, and that was done during the month of June last year. We did a little differently this year and made those transitions during the months that most of our revenues came in, is what we tried to do this fiscal year. One of the other things, and I'm probably talking a little bit more than I normally do, one of the other things that I do track is that when I know that our expenditures should be approximately 75%, I look at our outflows and see if they're tracking such as, and as I stated, I see that our instructional support services were actually 78%, and that is due to the payouts to the principals and assistant principals. That is the line item that would have hit and the function that would have hit, and that represents the overage, over the 75% on that line item. And that is it for our financial report for the month of June.
Are there any questions?
Yeah, I mean, I would just like your opinion on the page where you were talking about financial monitoring and future concerns,
Yes, ma'am.
you talked about the student enrollment decline.
Yes.
And it being less than 200. I mean, I was sitting here going, what is it? But I was thinking, I mean, do you think there's a possibility that, I mean, that's not a lot. That's not bad, considering
Right.
that we had the Student Choice Act. Do you think, how much would you say, I mean, would you say that was a big contributor? What is your opinion?
Well, those numbers represent the difference between fiscal year '24 and our funding for fiscal year '25.
So that really wouldn't affect it, right? I mean, they wouldn't have been, the Choice Act wouldn't
Right.
even
So
come
we
into
will
it. So what do you-
probably see the effects of that this fiscal year. So
What do you
when they
think?
do the 20-day count in October, my assumption is that we will see the effects of the choice this school year, which will affect our funding next fiscal year. Okay.
Any other questions? I have one question about the payout. Is that money we get back or that we received? Or?
That is money that we received, so we paid it in the month of June. If you look on the general fund recap, you will actually notice that principal leadership and mentoring is a negative $1,288,000. Though that was our payout, and we received those funds in the month of July. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Ms. Watkins. Now I will turn it over to Dr. Byrd for our consent agenda.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Vice President. Superintendent recommends approval of the consent agenda that includes A, the parent paid leave policy, B, the student grievance policy, C, the MPS Library Media Handbook, D, Internet Safety and Use of Technology Policy, E, the June 2025 financial statement, F, the June 24th special call meeting minutes, the July 8th regular board meeting minutes, the July 8th work session minutes, the July 22nd special call meeting minutes, and July 29th special call meeting minutes. Superintendent also requests your approval of item G, the bid report.
Madam President, I move that we accept the superintendent's recommendation on the consent agenda, items A through G.
We have heard a motion by Dr. Key to accept consent agenda items A through G. Is there a second?
I second it.
Ms. Cloud is second. Is there any discussion on these items? Hearing no discussion, I will call for the vote. Those in favor of approving the superintendent's recommendation for the consent agenda, please do so by a show of hands. It is unanimous.
Thank you.
Dr. Byrd?
Thank you. Superintendent recommends approval for the consider for approval. Item A, personnel report, certified personnel.
Superintendent has made a recommendation to approve personnel report certified personnel. Is there a motion?
Madam Vice President, I move that we accept the superintendent's recommendation for personnel.
Motion.
Second it.
Motion and second has been made. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, we will call for a vote. Would those in favor, please let me see a show of hands. It is unanimous.
Thank you. Superintendent requests approval of the personnel report, classified personnel.
Madam President, I move that we accept the superintendent's recommendation for the classified personnel.
Motion has been made by Dr. Key to accept the superintendent's recommendation. May I have a second? Or is there a second?
I second it.
Thank you, ladies. It has been moved and second. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, those in favor, please raise your hands. Unanimous. They're such good sports. Superintendent.
Thank you. Superintendent requests the board approvals of the personnel report teams.
Superintendent has made a recommendation to accept the personnel report teams. Is there a motion?
Madam Vice President, I move that we accept the superintendent's recommendation for report teams.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second it.
Thank you. Those in favor, please do so by a show of hands. It is unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our next meeting dates will be, I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. Turn your mic on, please.
Sorry. How do we look in our elementary, middle school, and high school teaching positions and admin positions? Are they filled now?
So as of right now, I think that we may have, and please don't quote me on this right now, but I think we may have maybe about 9 to 12 vacancies at this time.
And that's across the district?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other comments?
Yes. Madam Vice President, I just thought the speech that you made at the very beginning was just phenomenal. I think, it was great, and it was just nice to hear it. And it was as soon as you spoke, then I saw our superintendent chime in with the superheroes, and I just felt like I was proud. I was so proud, so thank you.
Well, we're glad to make you proud, Dr. Key. Our next meeting dates will be September 4th, 2025 at 4:30. There will be a budget hearing. We go through a series of budget hearings. The first one will be in training room number 1, followed up by the second budget hearing on September 9th, 2025 at 4:30 p.m. I certainly hope that the community at large will join us ask questions, get an understanding of our budget and how important what we spend is to us and how we provide for our students. At this time, this meeting is adjourned.
We have to wait till 6? We have to wait till 6?
Oh, do
We have to wait till 6 to do the work session.
you all better run, because I'm going to start this work session.
Yes, ma'am.
Better go. Yes, it's me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Montgomery County Board of Education work session is now being called to order. We still have a quorum, so a quorum has been established. Our next item is the approval of our work session agenda as printed. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda of the work session?
Madam Vice President, I move that we approve the agenda for the work session.
I second it.
Dr. Keith has made the motion and Ms. Cloud has seconded the approval of the agenda.
Madam Vice
Is-
President, please forgive me if you've already done this, but I did not hear an establishment of a quorum for the work session. So if you can establish the quorum for the work session.
I did.
Okay.
Oh, maybe I need to put it on the record. The there is 6, and the quorum has been established for the work session. Is that right? Dr. Coleman? Okay. All right. So we have a motion on the floor for approval of the agenda. It has been seconded. May I see a show of hands for those in favor? It is unanimous. Our next item to receive as information is Volkert. We're happy to welcome back Ms. Penn with us.
Let's see if y'all can hear me now. Thank you. Dr. Byrd, board members, good afternoon. Thank you for allowing me to be here to do our monthly update. All right, we're going to dive straight on into the new Percy Julian High School. We're tracking about 5% on our overall schedule and still looking at a completion date of December 2027. Update for the month, we've got mass grading ongoing and aggressively just moving dirt out there. The site contractor is hauling borrowed fill in the site and placing it in the building pad of areas A and C. And while my slide is a little small, but down in the right-hand corner, I've got the building sections kind of divided off, A, B, C, D, so you can see in the top northern portion of the campus where Todd Road has been rerouted. I hope you guys can see it. A and B is where the contractor currently is working and getting the building pad prepped and ready to start foundation. So we've got building pad certification that's scheduled for sections A and C this week, August 15th, and that's just a sign off to ensure that the building's at grade and compaction has been achieved. And so we'll start excavation and pouring of the foundation footings starting next week. So we'll start kind of opening up and hopefully I'd say within probably by the end of the year, we will really start seeing vertical block go up. We've also got crews starting soil cutting areas B, E, and G, and they're using the on-site material to build 2-foot lifts and then coming back with compacting fill on top. And then we're working on the small pond area. In this slide here in the top right-hand corner, you can see the 2 ponds. That's our smaller pond. They're actually cleaning that out and reworking that area. The good soil that you see, the nice, pretty, bright orange soil to the left, that's where your building pad A and C will be at. There's an aerial view of your the west view of the campus, looking back towards the boulevard. Over in the middle section of the right-hand side, you can see where Todd Road is coming out and turning and heading back towards the boulevard. Again, another aerial view of facing south towards the Roy Hodges Boulevard. You can just see there, I mean, just massive amounts of dirt being moved currently. And then just another aerial picture of what the school drive looks like currently, so that when we start bringing it to you each month for updates, you can kind of see how that drive will start really coming around and tying into the school site. So it's going to be really impressive from the boulevard. We marked an end of Park Crossing High School Fieldhouse. We achieved substantial completion on July 28th. So that was a big turnover for our team. That project was managed by our partnering sub-consultant, Zach Rump, which unfortunately he's not here tonight, but I did just want to point out he is with KWZ, and he was the on-site PM during that time for this project. So punch list items are being addressed by the GC currently, and we've got Precision Floor Care on site this week to complete the vinyl floor logo at the front entry of the field house. So just some pictures of finished product. This is the athletic study hall. Your athlete film rooms. Coach's suite. And then you've got the head football coach's office to the left. Your weight room, which turned out really nice, really nice. Football equipment room. And then again, just the athletic locker room area. Moving into South Lawn Middle School, we're currently tracking at 86% overall project complete. Anticipated completion after change order number 1 approval tonight. We're pushing hard for the contractor to turn over this building by September 24th. So that's 5 weeks. There's a lot that's still got to be done from the GC's end, but I feel confident that they've got a plan. We've just got to execute it and make sure that they stay on task. So that's our plan. And we've currently, with the work going on out there, is we're completing the second coat of wall paint throughout the building. Crews are touching up the accent walls. Our hard ceilings that's in the restroom areas, they've been inspected overhead by the DCM. We still have the lay-in ceiling areas, which is the majority of the building left for the DCM to inspect. So I would anticipate within the next 2 weeks having that overhead inspection scheduled. We've got subway tile installed in the restrooms. The wall base tile was actually nearing completion when I was out there earlier this week. The restroom and locker room floor tile has been installed. The building is climatized, and we're working on the next step, and the biggest step being the wood gym floor being installed. So get that delivered, start letting it get climatized to the air conditioning, and then actually get it installed. It'll probably take about a 2-week process for that to start and end. Crews are also on site installing the wall and base cabinets at the equipment and laundry room, and we've got exterior RFP doors installed. However, we still have the storefront doors, which is in 2 locations, here at the front, and then we've also got it on the side of the building that is still left to be hung. And then the contractor is scheduled to start applying the concrete stain finish to the corridors within the next week. Some quick quick photos of interior. We've got some grading going on, grading efforts going on. Sidewalks still need to be laid out and poured. Back view of the gym. We've got a road that connects to a drive on the back side of the campus that will connect and go around from the gym over to the side parking. And then our interior view of the gymnasium court. So for our overall MBE, DBE participation from last month, we saw an increase in the total professional service contracts, and we saw an increase in our professional service MBE, DBE contracts, and the 45% actually stayed the same. For our construction contracts, we had a significant increase in costs there, in contracts being issued mainly from the Percy Julian High School project. And then our MBE, DBE contracts stayed the same, and so we actually decreased in our percentage for construction contracts from 4 to 1%. So our hope there is that with Percy Julian coming online, we still have some other subcontractors that the GC may end up contracting with. And so we're giving them references as far as companies that we've vetted that maybe they can bring in the loop and actually allow work to be performed on site, as well as through our FF&E contracts. We'll be able to make up some costs there. So, any questions?
How are our minority, what is the percentage of our minority contractors, subcontractors? Are we still on task with that?
So for your GC subcontractors, because we're only averaging right now 1%. And that is, we contract directly with the GC. And then the GC contracts directly with the subs. And because we're governed by state bid laws, we can encourage and bring companies to the table that we have vetted and can recommend, hey, these are partnerships that you can actually, go after. But ultimately, Ms. Mitchell, it is up to the GC to contract directly with them. So where we have say-so is in the professional service scope of work, where we're at 45%. I just like to break it out so that way you guys can see, hey, this is where we're teetering for professional services, and then where we're at for general contracting.
Yeah, and you can probably think this is a dumb question, but I always teach my students there's no dumb question. When I was over there, by the way, at Percy Julian a couple days ago, because I have a listing over there, and I just happened to drive by to look at it, and then I'm looking at the pictures, and especially of the ponds. Is one of them a natural pond, and one of them y'all are digging yourself? That's what the picture looks like.
So the two ponds in the back. Let's see, north
you have
campus.
That one that's kind of triangular in the back, and then you have the one where there's dirt, and it looks like it's being dug.
Right.
Okay. If you remember, Lagoon Park was our swampland. Okay.
Correct.
There was a lot of that. Okay. So are there plans, for a fountain or something to keep to keep it going? Because if not, we're pulling in mosquitoes. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Do you see what I'm saying? And that's what I saw,
Yes.
there, because if you don't have something, a fountain, and one, it's pretty, but two, it keeps the flow of the going. Otherwise, if you start looking at that picture, that may be dirt that I'm looking at. You start getting stagnant, stagnation, snakes, stuff like that. So I just think if we don't have plans, because when y'all leave, when this is done, we're stuck with that. And I'm not going to be, I may not be here. Well, it's not would, but I may not be here in 2027.
Right.
And I just want to advocate, we got to look, I love what you got, but I
Right.
think knowing where we decided to do this, that is a known swamp area.
Right. So let me respond.
Yeah.
So and I wish I could go back to my picture. So the largest
The one in the
northern
back.
pond, yes, ma'am, that's actually considered wetlands. So we cannot touch that.
Yeah, and it
That
looks
was-
natural. That looks natural. I see
Correct.
that.
Yes, ma'am. And so that is a area in which there will be no work
Right.
or any disturbance at that location. The one, thank you.
Yeah, right there that
right
we're
there.
digging. It looks
Yeah,
like,
so the one next to it, so in the one that's in the upper right corner, that's your wetland area, and it goes pretty much down the entire west.
yeah,
I'm
and
sorry,
that
east
look from the
side of
picture, that looks fine. I don't
Mhm.
see the stagnation. But sometimes when you get ponds, just small ponds,
That's right.
that, you can get, you know what I'm
So
talking
the
about.
pond in front of it is, it's just kind of like a retention pond area. Your largest pond is going to be in the front, the actual front lot of the school, and you will have a fountain there.
Okay, good.
That's part of
Good.
the plans. But I will take the concern back to our engineering
Thank
team
you.
and just ask the
you.
question of, hey, is that something we need to look at? Yes, ma'am.
When we were talking about this,
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about that and flooding. Are we still sure that we have banked up enough that that will not flood? Because remember I said the statement, I don't want our families, when we finally get a football field out there, to go to a football game and they're really going to a swim meet.
Yes, ma'am. That's correct. So the process is currently the contractor is cutting. They're cutting down 2 foot, sometimes greater in other areas where the soil is not good soil. And we've got a substantial amount of dirt that's being hauled in. And we're talking, even after 2 foot cut, we're looking at some places 10 foot of fill being hauled in.
Okay.
So we feel confident that we've got it, finished elevation is at a playing field where there will not be flooding issues.
Okay. Well, again, with the mosquito situation the way it is, I agree with Dr. Keith that we really need to, because I want our children, our teachers, our parents that are there to be safe.
That's right. Well, and we've got some wildlife back there too that we're trying to take care
I
of.
was gonna say, in there, alligator.
There's apparently a pair of gators that
Right.
have made home back there that we're,
Ugh.
I believe. Isn't that correct? Yes. Yes. Well, there's Cedric. He's our civil engineer on the projects. Cedric Campbell with GMC. So if we have any questions in regards to the pond, we'll certainly get with him and take care of it.
Remind Cedric, no mosquitoes,
Thank you.
no alligators, no snakes.
Yes.
But if you all wanna stock it with some bass and brim, it'll increase parent
Yes,
involvement.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Any other questions for Ms. Penn? Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. We're excited. We're excited
I
about this
do have one more
project.
question for you. On Ms. Mitchell's question, I know you all can't advocate for what the general contractors do, but do they understand the importance to us for the minority businesses to be involved?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
They do. They do. And they are still issuing contracts to their subs. Where we're seeing this percentage right now, it's really for their major subs, the site, electrical, plumbing, and mechanical. That's not to say that we will have participation throughout the project. At this point, I just have not been able to capture it. And I'm, transparency, this is just where we're at.
And it is very important to us because as we spend this money, our CTEs are shored up by all of those trades.
Right.
So to be able to move our children into the workforce is very important to us.
Yes, ma'am. It's
Okay.
it's needed. This our trade industry in construction. It's great opportunity for our young students, our young folks that are needing a career path. And especially, I'm all for advocating females being in construction. I think that's a need, as well as just the schooling behind it. So
Well, thank you. We may have to have you come talk to them.
I'll be more than
Thank
happy
you
to.
so much. If there are no other questions or comments, we'll move to our next item. Thank you, Ms. Penn.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Ms. Hatch, where are you? Ms. Hatch will give us some information on the proposal to transition Carver Elementary into a full arts magnet school effective 2026-27 school year.
At Carver Elementary Arts Magnet School, creativity takes center stage every single day. As part of the Montgomery Public Schools Fine Arts program, our vision is simple: to use the arts to build confidence, celebrate diversity, and inspire lifelong critical thinkers. Our mission is to cultivate, equip, and engage the whole child, combining academics, art, technology, and character education in a safe, caring, and supportive environment. From kindergarten to first grade, every student explores all the arts in a hands-on rotation, discovering their talents and passion. By second grade, students choose 2 focus areas, from visual arts, guitar, choral music, band, dance, theater, and strings, receiving concentrated instruction from practicing artists and specialists. At Carver Elementary Arts Magnet School, we don't just teach academics. We inspire imagination, build character, and prepare our students to dream big.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing us to present tonight. I'm excited. This is something that's been in the works for quite a while, and I'm excited about it. As you know, Carver Elementary Arts Magnet School is currently a blended school with traditional school and magnet students in it. This model, however, limits how many students we can prepare for our arts pipeline. Transitioning to a full magnet program will expand access, it will strengthen enrollment at Baldwin and BTW, and most importantly to us, it will give more children a chance to thrive in a high-quality arts education. This presentation outlines the proposed transition of Carver Elementary into a full arts magnet school. The plan is designed so that we can expand our opportunities for students, we can improve alignment within the arts feeder pattern, and address long-term enrollment needs, both in the elementary and high school. Our presentation is designed to take you through the proposal in detail, and we've prepared it so that it should address most of your questions. But we will welcome as many questions as you have at the end of the presentation. There we go. I just listed all of our committee members. We welcomed our leaders in both the arts feeder pattern and in the academics. We blended those because Baldwin sits right in the middle with the arts and academics program. Presenting with me tonight, though, is the Carver principal, Dr. Angela Sampson, and the Baldwin principal, Kimberly Copeland.
Good evening, everyone. So tonight, I want to thank you all for listening and giving us an opportunity to talk to you about the purpose of this proposal. And what we hope to do is we hope to formally transition Carver Elementary into a full arts magnet school. What will happen is this move will increase, as Christy said, enrollment in our district's arts pipeline. It'll strengthen our feeder patterns at Baldwin and BTW. And it will help us retain those families who have started exploring other options outside of the public school sector and looking at private institutions. And this transition will increase opportunities for more students to be able to enter the magnet program by increasing the number of magnet seats that we currently offer at Carver. You'll click for me. Before I get into our transition or our proposal, I kind of want to talk to you a little bit about the background of MPS magnet history. Magnet programs in MPS, they were born out of desegregation efforts right here in the capital city, and they were designed to attract diverse student populations. Carver Elementary and Arts Magnet School opened in 1989. Well, Carver was special. Carver was designed to provide unique arts options for students whose needs were not always met through the regular program, giving students who were gifted and talented in the arts an opportunity to shine. And over time, schools like Forest Avenue and Lamp successfully transitioned to full magnet programs, but Carver did not, and we still operate with both traditional and magnet students. A model we're looking to try to streamline because we want to be able to offer opportunities for our students to be able to participate in visual art, guitar, band, dance, piano, theater, strings, all under one building. And we are the only arts magnet school, elementary school in the state of Alabama. I'm trying to go between the glasses. I can see far away, but not up close, so y'all please bear with me. But let's just talk about a few challenges that we have currently. Booker T. Washington High School, which is our flagship arts high school, is under-enrolled, and they're struggling to maintain capacity in its arts program. They're just not enough art students. That issue begins at the elementary level. So right now, Carver isn't feeding enough students in the magnet pipeline to even sustain the longevity of enrollment. And by redesigning Carver, we'll increase the number of students who are entering and remaining in the arts programs at all three schools, Carver, Baldwin, and BTW. And I think that's a win-win situation. Next, Christy is going to talk to you about the transition plan, and I'll come back up in just a minute.
I'm the detail person. So talking about the transition plan, the plan centers on what we call a stay put clause. In looking and researching the history of magnet programs and how they've transitioned, we recognized how the community schools were displaced in the past when the schools were transitioned to full magnet. Our committee felt very strongly that we did not want to displace the community in any way. Carver community is a strong community, and we wanted to keep those students that were there. So we came up with a plan that any traditional student currently enrolled in Carver will stay. They'll stay there. We call it the stay put clause. They'll stay put through the 5th grade. There'll be no testing, no application, no applying for lottery, no change in their day-to-day schooling. Starting in 2026, what we will do is the transition will begin with kindergarten, the new kids into the program at that point. So the 2026 will open up, and the new students will be the kindergarten students who apply through the lottery, and then any other students who wish to join the Carver family, depending on the space available. In essence, basically all current students will become magnet students, and they will be what we call grandfathered into the program. So our timeline, in August, we're going to begin engaging our families with community meetings. We have them scheduled for August 19th, August 28th, and September 4th. And our wonderful communications department has already gotten everything ready. They're locked and loaded to let our community know about all of those plans. If the board approves the plan in September, then we'll finalize the rezoning for the future years and begin collecting our opt-in and opt-out forms from our families. And then in October, that's going to be our key date. Any student who will be enrolled into Carver after that October 1st date We will welcome them to stay, but those students will not be grandfathered into the program unless they're accepted through the lottery. Starting in August 2026, I've already mentioned, that's when the program, everybody that's already in the building will stay a magnet student, and then our new class of kindergartners will be the ones that will have to apply through the lottery to become a part of the community. And then I mentioned that October 1st date. Students enrolling on or after October 1st will still be, like I mentioned, welcomed into to stay for the current year at Carver, but they will not be grandfathered in. In the 26-27 school year, they will be rezoned to either South Lawn or King Elementary. I will mention that that rezoning will assist those schools who are under capacity as well. But that said, however, if the students that are zoned for Carver Magnet that did not meet that grandfathered in clause, if they meet the magnet eligibility, they can apply and they will receive priority preference in the lottery. And based on how many seats are available, those students will get priority over anyone else because they live there in that zone. But it was after that October 1st date. I do have some capacity numbers if you're interested at the end. Our opt-out option, we want all of these students to stay. That's why we're having 3 different community meetings with our Carver families. We want them to stay. But we know that families always have a choice. And if they feel like that's not the right path for their child, if they don't want to, they can fill out an opt-out form, and they will they'll stay there at Carver for this year, and then they would be transferred to their newly zoned school after that. And obviously, we'll work with those families to convince them to stay because we want them to stay. But if they choose that that's not what they want to do, we will assist them to make that transition. Another important thing that we considered is staffing. No staff members at all will be displaced unless they choose to leave and they put in the transfer request at the end of the year. Our goal is to have continuity in the program. We want everyone that's there to stay there. Over time, we will be able to increase our enrollment. I'll be hitting up the finance. We'll have to have a year ahead because our teacher units are done a year behind. So we'll increase our enrollment, and we hope to increase from 3 classes per grade level to 4. We know that the building has a capacity for that. So we'll begin with our kindergarten, and then at the end of that year, we'll get credit for that unit. So as our enrollment increases, the need for teacher unit will increase, but the funding will come with the students. All right, next is Ms. Copeland.
Good evening, everyone. As they both kind of said, middle school, we're literally right in the middle of, in the transition. We're kind of both 2 schools in one. But one thing that this definitely would do is increase that pipeline. This is going to help students be more prepared. We have often in the lottery have students who have no art experience, which is also amazing. But the more students we have that already have that art experience as they come up through the middle school, for those of you who have, and I know I've seen some of you at the shows, our shows are already, hate to toot my own horn because they're the kids, but their shows are amazing. The kids are extraordinary. They're super talented. And how much more can we push these shows if we're having students who have been in these art programs all the way from kindergarten? The things that they can do can blow your mind, and I'm very excited to see what they could do as we continue to grow these kids. And it also, again, as they both have talked about, the enrollment at that level and having that kids that stay in this track all the way from kindergarten to when they graduate at BTW, I think would be a really extraordinary thing for them to say that they've been on that track all of their lives.
You see, we've been really, really thinking about this for a very long time. I think ever since I taught at Carver many, many, many years ago. As a matter of fact, I see a few students in here. And at that time, it was the same process. We were magnet and traditional. And it's 2025. And I feel like now it's time to offer more students the opportunity to be able to take advantage of this unique program. There's no other program like this. I also believe that the plan allows the continued cohesiveness of the community, particularly on the west side. Carver Elementary, the Carver community, we know that it's a strong knit community, and we don't want to break that up. We want to continue to have that same relationship with the community. We want our students to remain in the schools while opening up opportunities for additional students to just take advantage of our great program. So as we began to think about the plan was built with the community in mind. We're not trying to remove any children. We're not trying to close any doors on anyone. We're trying to preserve relationships while still giving families a choice. And we're improving access to high quality, arts integrated education. But most importantly, it keeps students at the center of every decision. I like this because it gives parents great school opportunities to revitalize the increase in enrollment, not just at Carver, but we also need to look at Southline Elementary, which I grew up out there. I went to Southline Elementary. And we're starting to see students leave. And this will put more students back into Southline Elementary, and back into MLK. We have a beautiful building out there and very few students. So as I said before, it's a win-win situation. We're going to be hosting community meetings at Carver on August the 19th, the 28th, and September the 4th. We want to welcome families to come out, so we'll be able to answer any questions that they have. During the meeting, we want to make sure that we thoroughly discuss the transition plans. We want to talk to them about the choices and the options that they have. We want to highlight our program. We want to let them see what Carver Arts Magnet offers in our curriculum. And we want to answer any questions or concerns that they may have. So I thank you so much for your attention. I thank you for your support. I thank you for your time, and we welcome any questions that you may have.
Thank you so much for your thorough presentation. Ms. Cloud and then Ms. Brown.
Yes. Okay, I think this is wonderful. Here's the question. It will still be a K-5 school. And what if you have siblings that, because K-5 is a stretch of grades, you have a kindergartner or first grader, and their sibling is in third, fourth, or fifth. And I know it's a lottery. I'm concerned that parents will want their children to be together in the school. I truly believe that. I truly believe that at that grade, elementary.
Well, I just kind of want to talk to you about that. That's happening at every school.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right
right,
now, it's
right,
happening.
right.
So this isn't just a Carver issue. It's
That's
happening
right.
at all of the magnet schools where we have
Mhm.
situations where children are not able to attend school. Like, for example, I have one family, one child is at Carver, one child is at Bear. We have another family, one child is at Carver, one is at Macmillan. So it's an issue that's happening. But as far as the Carver community, those students who are already enrolled at Carver Elementary, they won't have to leave. They'll be able to stay with their siblings, and we won't turn them away.
I just want to make sure that that option is available, that it's not, sorry, because let's face it, children don't understand lotteries like we do.
Right.
And it's hard for them to understand why they're going and I'm not.
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't want that to happen.
As I
Thank
said,
you,
it's
Ms. Cloud.
happening. It's happening
Yeah.
in all
Thank
of the
you.
magnets.
And Ms. Brown, I'll acknowledge you next. And to your point, children are different. Everybody can't go to the same school. I might have a Bear child. I might have a Fourth Avenue child. So, but I hope that you all will look at that if they're families and they want to stay. I know you'll.
I'm excited. District 4, great. West Side, great.
It's the
Absolutely great.
My question, I did not hear if you said it, I apologize. Did you say what the enrollment would be?
Enrollment?
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, the Carver Elementary current enrollment is 382, and at 90% capacity is about 700. So we hope to, over the next several years, we would increase it by at least one class every year. So we hope to, over the next 4 to 5 years, increase it up to that capacity. Depending on if we can get more teacher units, we could pull more students in quicker. But yes, because again, the teacher units are based on enrollment capacity, and we can't and won't put in too many students in one class without additional teacher units. But yes, our goal would be over the next few years, it would be at least 125 more after that, and then
Each year?
trying to approach capacity.
Going up to capacity?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Ms. Mitchell?
I don't have a question, I just have a comment. And I just want to say thank you. This is a well thought out process. And you know, and I can tell that you all put a lot of thought, hard work, and dedication into coming up with this. And you know, I grew up right around the street and went to Carver all my life. But and my daughter was one of the first students at Carver Elementary, and this is just something that we wanted to happen years ago. Thank you for allowing this to happen right now, and MPS moving forward like superheroes.
Ms. Hatch, before you leave, would you give us those dates and times and how parents can get this information?
Yes, so the first one is going to be on August 19th at 5 o'clock, August 28th at 5, and September 4th at 5,
Location, please.
at Carver Elementary.
Okay,
Madam
very good.
Vice
Yes,
President.
I'm sorry.
You forgot to look this
I
way.
forgot to look
What were
that
those
way.
dates for? Were they?
Parent.
Okay, okay.
The Carver family meetings.
Okay.
And those, our communications department has all of that ready, and we'll be sharing it on all of our platforms after our presentation.
And may I suggest to you, I noticed on your committee, might be a good place to put a parent, because the Carver community, you want the information, put a parent on that committee and they'll help you. Dr. Keith, did I forget you?
Yes, you did.
And Blake,
And I
Dr.
have a couple of things. It's not just one. First of all, let me say I am excited about it. But, okay, I think, you know, I guess maybe I'm the only one I feel like, am I just being negative? I'm not. But you said you would give us capacity numbers at the end, okay? I know somebody asked about, you know, what would it be there, but I'm talking about the feeder schools. Does that mean that, you know, because we don't know the capacity, are we going to overcrowd when they, you know, will there be overcrowding? So that would be, and as long as there's not, hey, carry on. That handles my first question. Where are we?
Are you talking about the magnet feeders?
Yeah, I'm talking about the ones that, okay.
Yes.
I get that you're accepting all the students, so that's wonderful. I get the grandfathered in, that's wonderful. But when we get down to where they're not going to be grandfathered in, and we move those that didn't make the lottery, that didn't make it in, wherever they go to, is there room?
Yes,
Are we
yes.
are we gonna overcrowd those schools?
Yes,
That was.
none of them are at capacity.
Okay, so we're fine with that. Okay, then I'm fine with that. The next one, and this is a leading question. I'm not telling you where I'm leading to, but it's not to y'all. Where is the funding come? You'll see where my leading question is. Where is the funding coming for the strings and, you know, all this extra good stuff? When we get it, and you're gonna need, you want strings, you want guitars, you want.
The instruments.
Yeah, where is that all gonna
themselves?
come from?
The funding for the instruments, the additional instruments.
All the monies that we currently have is based on per student.
Oh, so you already have your own money?
Per
You
student
wouldn't.
allocations.
It's per student
Oh, okay. Okay, okay. Well, that led me down,
More
that led me
allocation.
down to a stoppage then, because we just had some, I do want to put a plug in for, JAG. I think all board members, I hope all board members got the letter where they have a program out there at JAG. I just read about it through an email yesterday, and I was super excited about it because it sounded a lot like what BTW was, and you could tell that the teacher that was asking for funding was just on fire, saying they needed equipment, new media, and so I didn't know where to go to ask. So, the leading question went over to finance, who do I ask to help these teachers that need that extra funding? Is that federal? I mean, this is the cuckoo up, where do you get that money from?
And Dr.
To
Keith, I
help
That's supposed to
think
be the
the
ad
board
valorem.
member.
That's supposed to be the ad valorem.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Do what? I'm just gonna direct you to Ms. Mitchell because she too got it, and JAG is her school, and I know she's on that.
So as it relates to, Ms. Cloud is somewhat correct in that the ad valorem, half of those funds are allocated to support arts, music, foreign language, and so that would be a source to possibly look at. I'm going to say possibly.
Okay. All right, let me just make sure. I thought I wrote this all to you. Oh, I want to know, do you all have shows that we as board members, sometimes at your kids, because you were talking about how phenomenal these kids are. And the reason I say this is I'm not trying to be the monster, I even wrote that I can be a monster here, but my middle child went to Carver Elementary and was accepted into the arts program. I remember it like it was yesterday, and she's now 30-some years old, okay? This was back in the 1989 days. She couldn't make it into Forest Avenue like my first son, and we wanted her in something. So we're like, so she makes it into Carver. And we pulled her, after a year, we were like, this is going nowhere. They were all, it's almost like I'm not trying to put down the charter schools here. I was so on fire about charter schools, but you go watch these kids that are so artsy, and I still remember the play. It was the Marshmallow Bunny. I've never forgotten it. The Marshmallow Bunny. And they all recited it together. No one had a part. You know what I'm saying? It was like, hello, in unison, the kindergartners all performed the Marshmallow Bunny. And, I did. And then, of course, the people were going, oh, let your usher find you a seat. I mean, I was like,
Thank you,
this
Dr.
is not
Key.
where I want my child. And that was, of course, 1989. I'm sure we have improved, and I'm sure I'm the monster today for saying that, but hello. My thing is, I want to make sure, like when I went to the charter, I went to a charter school, haven't been back because the kids were reading their lines, which weren't maybe 10 words, and I was like, this is what I pushed. I'm like, you want what you're preaching and telling us all, the arts. I have passion for these kids. I don't want, I want to make sure that, I know you said, hey, we may not move these teachers. Well, you've got to have talented teachers there where you're going to have to move some of those teachers to make sure those kids get that kind of learning.
Yes, ma'am. And we currently have teachers that teach all of those arts that I mentioned, and their classes aren't full. We need more students, and I think Baldwin and BTW, they need more students as well. And it's not we put on shows and programs.
Good.
And
Well, I'd like to come, I'm one of those hands-on, invite me, I'll be there. I just want to see it because I am. It sounds like I'm against it. What you girls have brought up is exciting if we're really going to do it. Do you see what I'm saying?
We really are, Dr. Keith. Thank you so much.
we're doing it. I want you to come.
Thank you, ladies, so much.
All right, thank you.
And I know that we'll be hearing more about this, and board members always know they can point their question to the superintendent, and he will get them what they need, information. But we're excited and we're excited that you're excited.
I'm excited. And you all are welcome to come and visit anytime.
Okay, well,
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you. Thank you
All right,
very
thank
much.
you all so much.
Send an invite, like, to one of your plays, because I wouldn't know when they are. I just would like to know a day. I'll be there.
It's gonna be the Cotton Bunny.
The Marshmallow Bunny.
The Marshmallow Bunny. Next, we will have MPS Athletics presentation by Mr. Ruffin. Welcome, Mr. Ruffin.
Good evening, board members, Dr. Byrd. Just giving you a year-end review of 2024-2025, our athletics summary for the year. Uh, 2024-2025 scholastic year was extremely exciting for the MPS school system. It all culminated with Park Crossing, our girls basketball team winning the 2025 state championship. It was an exciting time to be out there with those young ladies. They represented the capital city very, very well. Also, there were many capital improvement projects that were started and completed that will have a long-lasting impact for years to come. The following were areas that were addressed by the district. Locker rooms were updated, weight rooms, irrigation systems. We transferred from city water to well water as a cost-cutting measure. Upgraded playing fields, upgrading playing surfaces to include turf and track installations, uniform and equipment enhancements. Capital projects for 2024-2025. At Bellingraph Middle School, a new weight room and an irrigation system was installed. Brubaker Middle School, new weight room and irrigation system. Brewtech, new softball field installed, as well as irrigation. Carver, of course, the new field house has been completed, and currently the turf and the track is being installed as well. A little behind on that because we received a very large amount of rain in June, so something that we thought would be completed by the end of September may be pushed over. No, not maybe, will be pushed over in closer to the middle to the end of October as we get an exorbitant amount of rain. Goodwin Fieldhouse remodel, new weight room and locker room were upgraded in Goodwin. JAG, the weight room, the gym renovation, as you see the photos as I go through the presentation, the gym looks phenomenal. They have new bleachers, new paint, scoreboard, wall pads, the whole 9 yard. Johnny Carr, new weight room and irrigation system was repaired, and we converted over to well water over there. McKee Fieldhouse remodel, new weight and locker room, and we converted over from city water to well water over there as well. Park Crossing, new field house, track, and synthetic turf. We had 100% completion. Just had our walkthrough on last week on Monday, so it has been released to them to move in. So checked on them today. They've got everything in, and they're trying to get their equipment room together. You know, it's like moving from one house to another. You know, they got to get their house cleaning in order. And South Lawn Middle School, as you saw earlier, the pictures, new gymnasium with the fall 25 completion, and also the irrigation system was put into the field. These are just some of the photos for those who have not seen the accomplishments of the district right now. Here's Carver. You see the lighted sign there. One thing that's phenomenal, our maintenance department, they produce these in maintenance, and of course, they do a heck of a job. We were able to save money in terms of branding and all the signage and things of that nature because of what we do in-house here as a district. So I think that's awesome that we're able to tell our people what we want, and they can make it come to fruition. As you can see, the weight room, and that sign there is when you're walking in the front door. Here's a night view of it, of the newly constructed field house. State-of-the-art facility complete with branding inside and out. Like I said, everything you see, Wolverines in the plates. So it gives it the same thing. It's a collegiate feel. You know, we have a collegiate feel, and I mean, the kids won't see anything different here in our district than when they go off to play in college. It's going to be the same thing, and I think that speaks to itself. Park Crossing, now you get a chance to see the new field turf that was installed, the track, and I think the biggest thing is coming into the district over 15 months ago, we didn't have any tracks that were really operable for us to host our own track meets. So now, with by the spring, Carver's track will be finished. Park Crossing's track is already completed, and we'll start the bid process for JAG. So by track season next year, we went from having 0 tracks that were operable in the district to we're going to have 3 tracks. So now we're able to host our own middle school relays. You know, instead of every time we want to run track, we got to go out of town. We got to go, you know, to the private schools' facilities. We have just as fine a facility or a better facility than those facilities that we've been visiting and having to go run at. So it's going to be awesome to see that. Park Crossing again, you saw some of these same slides when Ms. Penn came up from Volkert. We got newly constructed weight rooms at Bellingraph and Johnny Carr. So they didn't have weight rooms at all. And it was one of those deals, you know, when we met with the administrators over there, if you can find a space, the district is willing to come in and we want to make sure that you have just what what everybody else has. So if you see Johnny Carr, it was 2 rooms that were a wall was knocked out, and now they have a state-of-the-art weight room. The one on the bottom you see is Bellingraph. They already had a room that they could allot for such a project. So it was an awesome job done by these construction people. Booker T. Washington Magnet High School has expanded its athletic programs, adding the following sports: volleyball, swimming, and golf. The scholar athletes and athletic coaches are fully utilizing the new BTW athletic facility. Of course, we only had about 3 sports at BTW, but when the school was built, they built it for the growth of athletics, as you can see with this weight room right here and other facilities, including the new gym and all of that. We modernized championship awards this year, as you can see. Back in the day, remember the old 3 and 4 post trophies that were about this tall, about 3 and 4 feet tall. We've moved on past that. You can see we're into, the glass and the semi-crystal looking trophies and things like that. And we even have the ability now within the district, within our print shop, we can make our own awards as well. So that's another thing that's helped us. If you see the young lady holding the MVP trophy, she was the MVP plaque, rather, in the flag football game in middle school. Of course, we played middle school flag football last year, and we had 6 teams that participated, and the other 2 schools that didn't have it, they come online this year. So that's been awesome, being able to expand the sports opportunities for our females as well. Middle school championship football-wise, you see Goodwin and McKee played each other. We had a chance to really bring them in day before, have a photo shoot with the teams, and it was an outstanding football game, which was won by McKee. Some of the other things in terms of upgrades, new ice machines. I asked one coach and one principal, what's the most important thing to our athletic program? And most people, they get to trying to think and think and think. The most important thing to any athletic program is an ice machine. I mean, it aids in repair, it aids in recovery, it aids in hydration. It's multi-uses for such a thing. As you can see, as I talked about earlier, with converting from city water to well water, you can see the well right there. That's over at Floyd Middle Magnet, where we went to when the system was installed, the irrigation system that we at well was installed. And then, of course, modernizing the laundry facilities and things like that. What you see right there is over at Bellingraph. As I talked about earlier, here goes the pictures of the new enhanced JAG gymnasium renovation. Of course, the bleachers were put in. You can see the school mascot name in the bleachers. The court was redone. It was totally painted. I mean, they did an awesome job over there. Also, we had over 600 plus Scarlet athletes over the last couple of months that attended our volleyball, football, and flag football camps in collaboration with our MOU with the city of Montgomery. So I thought it was well attended, well attended. That's something that we're going to do every year. And you don't see the other sports because with the middle schools, they go in one sport right into the next. So one thing that I looked at from a camp perspective is the best time to have the camp is right before they get ready to go into sports. So it wouldn't be advantageous to have a baseball camp in July and the kids are not going to play baseball until April. You know, we want that carryover. So we'll be having our basketball camps in October as our middle school kids, they move from football to basketball. So we'll have a deal down in the multiplex for all females and the male. And they're team-based camps, so we know we're going to get our participation numbers. They're going to be at an all-time high. Here's some more pictures from the camp. As you can see, the guys and the young ladies were really getting after it. These are from our volleyball camp. We had close to 100 young ladies come out for our volleyball camp. Like I said, it was team-based. They did an outstanding job. And I really want to thank the coaches. They did a phenomenal job in making sure that we got down to the fundamentals and we didn't just have it to have it. We had these camps to make sure that we're getting better. We're getting carryover. Here's from our flag football camps. And I will say this, and I don't want to disrespect any football coaches, but we're probably going to win a state championship in flag football pretty soon around here. Our middle school flag football was outstanding. And as we grow the sport at our high schools, you know, looking at these young ladies move from middle school on up, I mean, it was, you know, I'm a 30-year veteran of football, and I saw some young ladies out there with some talent that I didn't even see at the middle school tackle football game. So I'm glad we got flag and we're not encouraging them to go play tackle football, but they might hurt some of them boys out there. And once again, everything culminated into Park Crossing having a heck of a year. I'd be remiss if I say Lamp's swim team did finish number 2 in the state. They were a state runner-up, so kudos goes out to them and what they did over there this year. And Coach Freya Smith did an outstanding job. 35-1, 35-1, undefeated in the state of Alabama. Their only loss was to Biloxi in Mississippi. So we really want to say we appreciate what she did this year, and we're going to expect the same thing this year because she's only losing 3 girls off her team, and so we're looking for big things for them to come.
Thank you so much. Questions, Dr. Key?
It's just a comment I'll be real quick, Madam Vice President. I just want to commend you. I think you have done a fabulous job. I know you've only been with this little in that position for a little over a year or so. And I mean, I didn't know about a swim team. I'd heard about the flag. I think this is awesome. I really am. And the pictures that you've provided, just like, you know, the Park Crossing field, the basketball courts. I mean, they're just, the colors, everything are just flamboyant. And it's kind of nice. I'm glad you put in the picture on the irrigation systems because, you know, you actually showed where they're using the PVC and stuff like that, which shows you how long that this will last. I mean, what you're letting us as board members see the tools that they're using that will last. This is not something that we're going to have to replace,
right?
Because you can look how well built that is. So I'm impressed. So thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Very good. You met your 1-minute mark. That is amazing. Proud of you. Any other questions? I do have a couple. One of the questions, do you see our athletic programs growing? Are there more boys and girls involved And I know here, everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to win. But the state of our young people now, the ability to be on a team is so important emotionally for them. Are our coaches in our schools understanding that? Because when I was at Carver, I could care less that I could play. They gave me a Carver paraphernalia. So I was somebody. And I think, even going back to that, I think these kids feel that, being a part of a team and being able to participate. So do you see all of our sports teams growing, or are they kind of doing like the arts? Are we a little behind?
We're, because of the enhancements that have been made, we've put the measures in place for us to grow.
Okay.
It's year one of the enhancement in terms of, the uniforms that were purchased for
Right.
the middle schools, the uniforms that were purchased, the equipment, the new equipment. So we're going into the second year of having all those things where we can kind of sit back and we can see what the barometer is in terms of where we were, where we are now, and what the perspectives of where we're going.
Very good. I appreciate that. One more thing. Do all of the sports use these weight rooms? I notice it says football, but does every sport use the weight
ma'am.
room?
Everybody
Okay.
uses the weight rooms. Now we have another thing that has allowed us to do with the sheer numbers of, let's say, a football team.
Mhm.
So it gives us the flexibility. We have more than one weight room now at some schools. So in terms of everybody having to wait their turn to get in the weight room,
Right.
it gives us the flexibility now that we don't just have one weight room. So you can put, football can be over here, basketball, and everybody can be going at the same time. Because before you have to adjust your practice times, that's causing coaches to be in the facility longer because this sport can't get into this sport comes out. So we're able to do some things all inclusive at the same time right now.
And just as a housekeeping tool, we've put all this money in all these wonderful facilities. I am sure that there are some strict guidelines in place to make sure we keep it that way. So if we need policy for that, if you'll just let us know, or any way we can assist in that.
Well, that's next. Right now, we're in the reviewing stage. I have put together a policy and procedures manual for athletics, and that'll be coming down the pipe within the next 20 to 25 days.
We appreciate it because we have no more money.
All right.
Thank you so much,
All right,
Mr.
thank you.
Ruffin, for your thorough report. All right, Mr. Anderson, if you'll give us a facilities report.
Yes, ma'am. I think Mr. Ruffin did a lot of that for us. So.
Yeah.
Good evening, Dr. Byrd, Ms. Portis, and members of the board. Just going through our capital projects. Volkert covered their pieces of the capital project. Morning View, we've completed phase one, which is the frontage of that main building on Pelzer there, which is the largest majority of it. We're currently working into phase two, which is the back hallway that goes back towards the annex, which is approximately 5 classrooms. This has by far been the best run construction site and job that I've had in my tenure here. We're supposed to be at 35% completion based upon the contract. We're currently at 90%. I just got the update on that from our engineers today, and the contractor's done an excellent job in just maintaining the site and getting so much work done this summer, and then now working around our students and staff there on site. So we anticipate being done with the inside of the building coming up here in the next about 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, and being able to turn that small portion over back to the school to be resettled on that. There's still some work to be done on the outside. We've been waiting on equipment which just arrived last week, and of course they've set a lot of that equipment, and they're making the connections to the ductwork on the outside, and then the electrical switch gears and different things, the guts for the electrical panels, those are starting to arrive now. We plan to make the final connections for that around Thanksgiving to try to not interrupt with the school going on, and then totally turn the building over to the school hopefully by December. One of the things that you'll see on the frontage of the building is similar to our 3-story building here on site, those metal chases that run up the side of the building. So it's going to give it a really nice modern pop to go on the front of on the frontage of that building. And then they're still working through the external doors. We're going to be replacing the external doors in that building and adding more card access around the building. So just a really nice addition, something that's going to definitely change the atmosphere and the learning environment there. And we just are excited about it. And just like Goodwin and Davis will be coming on board here soon once those prefabricated panels in, we'll start working towards that. But we're going to continue to plan for the upcoming school year as well. We have Danley that's going to be scheduled. They're under design right now with Danley, and we're working towards doing the same thing there at Danley that we've done at Morning View and about to complete on Davis as well. So we're just going to keep plugging away at those as money is available through the Education Trust Fund and the ATF, and try to continue on creating those better environments. Davis Elementary, we're still waiting for those panels and different materials to start. We've been working with the administration there. They've got a good plan to be able to kind of shift groups around like we did at Goodwin and complete phases of it. It won't go quite as fast as what we were able to accomplish at Morning View, but they'll do the majority of the HVAC work at this time, and then probably see more of the drop ceilings and lightings this next summer, completing some of those items. Carver High School and track, Mr. Ruffin mentioned that. We've completed 2 proof rolls out there, and what that is taking basically a heavy truck out onto the surface that's there now to see and make sure it doesn't sink. We've gotten some soft spots towards the edge of the track, so that's kind of held us up a little bit. They're waiting for it to dry out and try to complete a 3rd proof roll to be able to move into that next phase, which is completing the perimeter drainage around the outside of it. Once that perimeter drainage is in, they'll come in and put the gravel over the top of that, and then they'll get ready to start bringing in the turf and the infill that goes over that to give it that nice cushiony feel there. And then we'll work on the track surface with that. The one thing about the track surface, again, we had a change order on that. If you recall last board meeting, a lot of the surface has to be repaired underneath. And when you repair that surface, it's got to sit for 30 days to let it cure out before you put the rubberized track surface on top of it. So that's some of the time frame that we're there. And like Mr. Ruffin spoke about, we've had a ton of rain this summer. I think everybody can be on board with that part that's delayed some of those items. The Forest Avenue roof replacement and South Lawn Elementary roof replacement, I got an update from our architect on that today. We have a tentative bid opening set for 9/2 and 9/4, and I look forward to trying to bring that to you at the next board meeting, the September board meeting, for approval and beginning of those 2 projects. And then the JAG athletic improvements, we've been working on that with our architect, PH&J, and actually working with Alabama Power too on some of the lighting around the area with that project to be with it. So we're still anticipating a late August. I hope not going into September bid date for that, and I'll bring it to the board at the September board meeting as well, as if all goes accordingly.
Good deal. Thank you so much, Mr. Anderson. Any questions or comments for Mr. Anderson? You've done well. They have no questions. And lastly, Attorney Powell on mental health services policy.
Good evening again, Madam Vice President, board members, Superintendent Dr. Byrd. As you all are aware, back in 2022, the Alabama legislature passed Act number 2022-442. That act required school boards to adopt a policy that would allow for parents to opt in for mental health services for students that are under the age of 14. However, this year, they have revised that act to now require that age be changed to age 16. And so now the school boards are required to allow parents to opt in for mental health services for those students who are under the age of 16. Additionally, the act, it provided some additional exceptions, which would and those, let me backtrack. Those exceptions would be to requiring an opt-in for those parents who have the children that are 16, that are under 16. And those exceptions would include if there was suspected abuse, neglect, or exploitation, or when there is an immediate necessity for immediate grief counseling. And so you guys have been provided with the language for the policy, and those highlighted sections are the areas that are being revised in MPS's policy. And that policy draft will put us in compliance with what the law currently states.
Thank you so much. Any questions? And you did receive a highlighted copy with the important things. We thank you so much. All right, any new business? There was none recorded. Any?
Okay.
Who just?
I just want to add something. Yeah, I do. I have no business. The gentleman that spoke, Mr. Joe Purnell, it was wonderful. I really, truly think that we need to, the PTA has already have some of this information in that's strengthening. We've got to invite parents and guardians and other community people in to help with doing this, and maybe that should be in the Culture and Climate Committee to talk about, I mean, not just gun safety, but gun violence and how to stop, wait a minute, walk away, or whatever we need to do. But this would be great to be inviting him in to talk about it, PTA, all their resources they have. That would be wonderful. I found those resources just about a few minutes ago. We've got the information. We've just got to put it out. 3 or 4 children that didn't come back to school this year.
Sure, we did, sadly enough.
Thank you.
Okay, end of our,
I had one comment. My only comment, I mean, new business, I should have put it in, but, okay, I'll just shut up. Go ahead.
please enlighten us under 30 seconds, please.
It's just 30 seconds. You got to understand, we are doing, this is on the teacher retirement thing that you and I talked about. And I was saddened because, you know, I am a retired teacher, but because it's a conflict of interest, I can't do it. And, you know, and I would love to do it. But I want to make sure that, you know, you've got that retirement thing, and that, I think that's going to help. I hope it takes off. And if I don't get elected, I'll be the first to be applying. And if you're still here, you better hire me. I'm just saying that. I got 5 more seconds. The other thing, okay, is I don't want it to take the place of this teacher residency program. And I'll tell you why, because every program that we can have for those 400 new teachers, we've got to have them. And if you're going to think I'm a nerd, but I did the stats on this because the nerd in me, if you look at it, in 2 years, we had like 75 in that program. And then we dropped down to, we dropped down almost 20, okay? But in the last year, all we only dropped down is 9, which it shows it's working. And I just hope if we've got to have every avenue that we can to retain these teachers. And I guess I just keep pushing it because I'm the chair of that. So I had to say that. I'll be quiet. Thank you.
Thank you. You're absolutely right. Dr. Bird, did you have anything to say to that? Yeah. And even though it's a conflict of interest for you to be paid, you can always volunteer. Yeah, you have been, yeah. And you know, all hands on deck. And I think I said this when we had ESSER funds. I think the only way you meet children and grow them is to put enough support around them. And they'll grow. Somebody is going to offer them something that they can't get away from, and they'll learn from it. I thank you so much. Our next meeting date, September 4th, 2025, 4:30. Budget hearing number 1 in training room 1. And don't leave yet. One more. September 9th, 4:30. Budget hearing 2. Regular board meeting following, work session following that. Have a great, great weekend and rest of your evening. This meeting is now adjourned.
Give it. It's important that every student goes to school every single day.
That's right, every single school day.
Because face it, if we don't come to school, how will we prepare ourselves for our futures?
I want to be prepared for the future, so I'm making sure I go to school every day.
Parents, did you know that if a student misses at least 2 days of school a month, they've missed at least 20% of classroom instruction?
And missing that much of school without a valid reason causes students to fall behind academically.
Let's work together to ensure students are present in the classroom.
Together, we can do this.
Because it's our future.
It's our future.
And our...
Let's be present together, MPS.